Hey, this is Stacia, and I'm going to share my round 3 tournament game at the Rating Point Harvest that I played on October 16th, 2021. This is my game against Aaron Van Horn. So as you can see, um, he's considerably higher rated, like 300 points. So I was a little nervous, but this is the type of player that I want to play. I feel I'm 1800 strength, so when I see a 1988, I don't feel I'm 300 points lower, but that's just me. All right, so I played e4, he went e5, I went knight f3, he went knight f6, and I played the Italian game, which is my main repertoire, and he went bishop to c5, and I took a deep breath and played b4, Evans Gambit. I'm not sure if I've had this over the board yet. I don't think that I have. Although I've had several training games in this line. So, he took without hesitation and played the bishop a5 line, which is the main line. I went d4, he captured, and now I would like to recapture, but of course that's illegal due to the pin, so I castle. All right, so we have this position, and it was here that he played knight g to e7, which I do know to be the main line. But I don't face it very often. I don't think I've faced it in a training game at all. I've seen it in blitz games. So basically here I won't say I was out of book because I was pretty sure that knight g5 was the move, but it was here that I started thinking. So I did play knight to g5, which I think is an interesting move. We're saying, hey, your f7 pawn is under attack, and if black castles, that's a huge blunder. If he were to do this, that's a huge blunder. Queen h5, and most players will say, oh, I have to block that, and then knight takes f7 comes. Yeah, this is winning for white. This is a known trap in Evans Gambit. Usually goes something like this. And I mean, this is destruction. I've had like many blitz games go like this. So I was very well aware of this trap. But I did not expect him to castle here, and he did not. Instead, he thought and played knight to e5. So, let me promote this. Okay. So, it looks like this move has been played by good players. Yeah, the engine's okay with this. Now, I thought the main line would probably be d5. Was I right about that? Yes. He even asked me after the game, because as you'll see, there's a tactic. Now, am I winning after the tactic? No, but I think my position is pleasant. So, yeah, I thought he should go d5 here, and then I'm really curious about this main line. Yeah, like here, there's 44 games in the database, and like white barely ever wins at all. But black does win, so this is something I'm going to need to study. In fact, I should probably go knight takes f7 here and play this in fried liver format. Looks like this move has all 3 results possible. Yeah, something like this. Now my bishop's attacked. Bishop b3. Yeah, I would play this position. It looks sufficiently messy. The king's in the center. Maybe I could play this way. But it does look risky as ever, doesn't it? Oh, it says d takes c3 is next. Wow. All right. All right. Sorry about the dive into opening theory, but I do like to review my lines when I enter my games. Okay. So back to the real game. So he played knight g to e7. I went knight g5, and now he's got to do something about that. So he played knight to e5. This looks like a very logical move, right? Attack the bishop, protect f7. So here I calculated, and I did find the best move. Bishop takes f7 check. You know, and I can imagine if you're playing black, you're like, hey, I just stopped that move. What's going on? My opponent didn't see? Or am I in trouble? Yeah, and here, I liked taking with the bishop. I thought this was an interesting decision. I love when you have two choices. I could take with a bishop or with a knight. I kind of determined they were both the same. Turns out that's true. But this one's pretty forcing since it's check. And I feel like, you know, this could, if he goes wrong with this move, you know, I play bishop b3, and then I'm threatening this. f4 first, and then knight f7 forking and winning material. So I thought he has to take, and he did in fact take. And then I take this way. The queen is trapped, so he must take the knight. There's no choice. And then here's the point, queen h5 check, picks up the bishop on a5. So this is what happened in the game. So I was pretty proud of myself at this point. You know, my first Evans Gambit over the board, and I think, you know, this is the type of position that I do want. I was expecting this 1900 player to give me more trouble in the opening. But like I was saying, you know, I think this is pleasant, but it's not like it's winning or anything. So the king, let's see what he did. He played knight g6 here. So I took the bishop. Yeah, interesting. I was thinking about throwing in a check or something here. The computer does want to. It wants queen d5 check, which I think forces the king to a dark square. No, but he could go here. Yeah, I wasn't so sure that was good, so I didn't do that. But on the other hand, I am allowing him to do this plan. So maybe queen d5 check is, wow, computer likes it better and better. But I took the bishop immediately. So that's a nice little finesse for me to know. All right, so we played this point. And at this point, he started playing quickly. And I thought, because he saw that I took a lot of time calculating that tactic and just making sure everything, I just was making sure it wasn't a blunder. So he started playing quickly, which my opponents love to do to me. So d6, c takes d4 I played. Yeah, that's a good move. Rook f8. Bishop a3. Looks like I had a much better move here. If you want to pause your video and see if you can find the much better move, go ahead and do so now. Okay, so here, what did I play? I played bishop to a3, which is a normal Evans Gambit move. And I like the fact that this kind of comes with tempo because he doesn't want to keep that pawn pinned. I'll be going e5 soon if he does that. But maybe this move is a little bit lazy. I was trying to complete my development as normal. Turns out this is a better move. Bishop to g5. That's more forcing. It attacks the queen immediately. The queen doesn't have a lot of squares. So if she goes here, then the bishop is blocked. And if she goes here, which it actually does want queen d7. And if she goes here, we can actually grab this pawn with check. So wow, bishop g5, how did I miss that? It looks pretty obvious now. I think I missed the fact that I could play it. It's protected by the queen. So that would be pretty interesting. I would think here, though, you know, I have to be careful. Like if b6, we have to make sure that we can take, I guess we can, because if we take and they take, we take a pawn. And I'm not loving the black pawn structure there. So, yeah, so bishop g5 was the way to go. Okay. Instead of that, I played... I always get lost when I look at score sheets. I don't know why. C takes d4, rook f8. Oh, here we go. Bishop a3, I knew. Rook e8. So he kind of looked irritated, like, oh, fine, I'll move my rook again. All right, and knight to d2. So I figured I'll protect my pawn and develop my knight. I almost thought I could let him take the pawn because there is queen d5 check. But watch this. This would be tragic if I let him do that. Like, I guess let's just play g3. If he took the pawn and I thought I was winning material, he would just play rook e6. So I saw that, so I didn't do that. Instead, I did protect it. And computer wanted knight c3. Man, I was really trying to decide which was better. Knight c3 is better by a lot. So I don't know why, though. f4 was also a better move. Yeah, so I'm making moves that lose all advantage. But yeah, I'll have to figure that out later because I don't understand. Let's continue. So apparently I have very little advantage now, according to the engine. So maybe the engine knows some really nice ways to play for black that I'm not aware of. My opponent's not aware of. All right, he went king g8 here, of course. He wants to get his king safe. And he was just playing quickly. But yeah, he shouldn't have done that. He should have played knight to f4. I did look at this move during the game. Yeah, maybe it's because now queen g5 could come with tempo. Not yet, though. So if I went here or something, yeah, it wants something like b6, queen b5. Now it does want king g8. Huh, okay. I'm not exactly sure why this is so great for black, but I mean, black's just, equal. All right, so this move, king g8, is what was played. And f4 is what I played. That's the best move, yay. b6 he played. Yeah, and now I have a decision to make. Do I want to throw in this check or not? It's a pretty forcing move because the rook is hanging. But surely he saw that and he was just planning, to play bishop e6, which would block and protect the rook. So I had to calculate if there and like queen to c6, is this desirable for me? I mean, that is a queen wedge that I've accomplished here. And I am menacing f5, which would fork the bishop and the knight. So I decided to go for this. I don't know if it was best, but I did go for this. Wow, computer hates it. It says queen a4 is like winning. Queen a4 and queen c3 are winning. I think it's because we have f5. And f5 is going to kick this knight. The knight cannot go to e5, so he's going to end up on a bad square. And it also shuts down the bishop. So I think that's what's going on with this. I thought I had all that anyway. Okay, so in this position, he played knight to e7, which is actually a huge, I mean, the computer's calling it a blunder. So it's a very nuanced game, I have to say. So either that or I just don't know chess well enough yet. All right, so he should have played queen to f6. It says this, now black has advantage. But that gives up a pawn. Oh, I see, it's a counterattack. Okay. Ooh, yeah, and then the queen hits the knight. I mean, what the heck? They're letting me play this. So what's the trick? There must be something, there's some reason the computer's allowing this move. I guess it's because my knight's hanging? I don't know. I'm at a loss here. Okay, what happens if I play this move? Oh, this comes with check. Oh, okay, that comes with check. Yeah, that is a problem. So, you know, they can take my knight and then I take one of their pieces. But this, I mean, this is a weird position. I don't really know what's happening here, but the computer says it's very good for black. My down material, yeah, I think black's pawns may come to haunt us. It's the downside of Evan's Gambit. All right, so queen c6, he played knight e7. Okay, so after knight e7, I went queen to c3, which I felt was reasonable. And now, you know, I want to play f5, and I want to play, you know, I want to start attacking, I think. Like maybe queen g3 or something like that. He went king h8, which I didn't really understand. Oh yeah, and here's why I went queen c3. I wanted to make a battery. I've seen games before. Well, I've seen the computer suggest this plan before in Evan's Gambit, and it's very hard to defend because, I mean, it's just hard to defend this. There's no dark square bishop in this line, and I mean, his idea was rook g8. That I understood. So, king h8, I went d5 here, which is the best move. I wanted to disturb the bishop, so I did. He went bishop d7, and then I went bishop b2. Time was still looking halfway decent at this part of the game. No, never mind, not halfway decent. I think I had like 10 minutes and he had like 16 minutes. So that's a pretty huge time deficit actually. But at least I still had time on my clock. All right, so he went rook g8 because what else are you supposed to do here? That was clearly his idea. Now I went f5. I mean, this is a nice position. I'm gonna play f6, so he needs to stop that. And he decided to sacrifice a piece here, which I think was a good decision. It's the top engine move as well. So bishop takes f5. I thought a while here, and you know, that's probably a mistake to even think in this position. I should probably just take the bishop. I knew he was going to take here, and well, I was a little bit worried, so maybe it's okay to think. I was actually wondering about rook takes bishop here. This looks very interesting to me. Like if here, the idea is that I'm still going to play f6. So if he goes queen f6, I can probably do something like queen c2, I thought, and I still have a lot of pressure on him here. And sure enough, the computer agrees. This is winning. So that would have worked, but it is better to take this way, though. This is still better. So, of course, he took here. That was his idea with that. And I played queen to d4. I just want to attack the knight and maintain this pressure that I have. So I was pretty sure he would go c6. He played... What did he play? I always get lost. Oh, takes, queen d4. Oh, he went knight to f6, which I missed. But this is still very good for white. I went knight e4 here because I thought if he takes... He didn't take, but if he does... I thought I would take here, and then, you know, this is looking really good, isn't it? He would have to stop this somehow. Not really sure how. Yeah, maybe queen f4. Because, I mean, if I get this in, he sacked a piece, and as long as his king's not safe, these pawns aren't going to matter so much, because... You know, checkmate is better than making a queen. So, all right. Such an interesting and fun game to play, though, I have to say. Okay, let me promote this variation. Make it the main line. Okay. Okay, so he did not take. Instead of that, he played rook to f8. What? Yeah, I think he did do this, which seems risky, right? Taking a defender off there, but he is defending the knight. So I didn't think I should take the knight. The computer says I should. Okay, I liked this better, which is the computer likes this as well. Knight g5. I mean, I'm threatening a fork. Maybe I'll get this at some point. Maybe I'll sacrifice. I don't know, but maybe I'll play queen h4. It just seems like there's a lot of threats here. I've got these ideas too. The attack is real. White's completely winning, by the way. So after knight g5, he went... How do I lose my place repeatedly? I don't know. Oh, there it is. He went queen d7. I went queen h4. So now he's got to watch it. I'm about to take the knight and play checkmate. So I thought he probably had to go h6, which he did. And then I went rook a to e1. Yeah, because he, you know, that's not, he's not threatening to take, that's pinned. And, you know, this is the tragic story, right? This is the story that we hear over and over. Stacia has a good position, but she's in severe time trouble. And I had seconds left here. And, yeah, seconds left here, and I was just trying to find one last good move. One last good move would win the game, you know, and I was trying so hard. After rook a to e1, he played rook a to e8. And I decided to play knight e6, top engine move. He went rook f7. I went bishop to c1. I was trying so hard, you guys. I mean, this looks horrible, right? Like, he went knight to g8. And I just couldn't find a knockout blow here. And I had 2 seconds on my clock the last few moves. And I just offered a draw in this moment. I was just like, will you take a draw? And he immediately did take it. And he said, well, yeah, your time. And my opponent was a very nice guy. It was nice. We did chat after the game. I recommend that for everybody, by the way. I mean, you never know who you will meet. And most chess players, I find, are very pleasant, good people. I very much enjoy meeting them and speaking with them and talking about the game afterwards, especially if they're stronger than you. You can learn something by analyzing with them. Surely they will have seen things that you didn't consider during the game. So yeah, I got a draw. So a draw against someone 300 points higher rated, though, is a good result for me. But tragically, this should have been a win, right? And well, what should we have done? I've got plenty of time now. The engine says put the bishop back. Ooh, that's tricky. Look at this. Now the pawn is pinned and we're threatening to take. That looks very testing. I guess he would come back, right? I think he would come back. And then we can go queen g3, the engine says. So the idea here is what? I think the idea is takes, rook takes, and bishop takes, and the rook will be pinned. That also looks very nice. So I like these ideas. Yeah, but this is not so easy to win, is it? It's just not so easy to win. So it says, you know, king g8 the engine wants. If king g8, I would probably play queen g6. Yeah, it does like that. I was looking at this move a lot during the game. Okay, so what do we want to do now? Can I get away with some kind of rook lift? That would be nice. It says he should go rook f to f8. What? If we do that, that loses material. So why does he need to do that? Let's try not to lose material. We'll play rook e to e7. That looks more human. Oh, he can't do that. We take. And finally we win. So, yeah. So this is the moment. So I guess it would go like this. Let's just go ahead and take this knight. He cannot take back. It wants to go rook f7. Maybe we need a better move than that. We don't want to undefend the knight. So after queen g6, what could black do? I don't know. Let's just play d5. Maybe that will be annoying at some point. It wants knight takes g7. It doesn't look like an obvious win to me. Oh, I guess it is, because after takes and takes, we can take the knight. And now this looks really bad now, doesn't it? d4, trying to separate the bishop from the queen. But we could probably trade here. I have no qualms with this. Yeah. Okay, even I could win this. But yeah, the attack was hard. So I need to get better at finishing, winning positions. It's not something I ever really work on. So I should probably work on it, right? So anyway, a tragic story once again, but it could have been worse. I could have lost on time. That would have been far worse. So I'll take what I can get. I hope you guys enjoyed the game, and I'll be back with round 4 from the Rating Point Harvest. Okay, see you next time.